We've got Drew McIntyre here with us, who's an absolute WWE superstar. He's held the WWE title as well for a good time, beating Brock Lesnar during the pandemic here. So it's great to have you with us, Drew. How are you doing?
Excellent. It's been a long couple of weeks. I've been on the road for 2 weeks straight. I had the chance to go back to Scotland, see some family,
Hmm.
friends. Um, be best man at my buddy's wedding,
Nice.
and I head straight into Nottingham show with the SmackDown tour, then finish off with the Glasgow show. Back
Right.
home right before I flew to Saudi on Wednesday. Got here about midnight and
Hmm.
haven't stopped since. A big match
Fantastic.
tomorrow.
The big match, yes, of course, which is the crown jewel happening in Saudi Arabia. Last time round in November, you had good success there. You beat Karrion Cross, and that was good for you. This time, however, there is a title on the line, which is the WWE World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Seth Rollins, he is your opponent. How's your preparations coming along for this one?
I'm feeling good. I don't do much different for every match. I treat every match the same,
Hmm.
every opponent the same as my biggest challenge, no matter who they are. But Seth is obviously someone with a lot of experience, incredible in the ring, will do anything to keep his hands on that title.
Right.
And as I made it clear on Monday, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to take that title from him. Thankfully, I've got a couple of days here, which means I get to recover from the time difference and the jet lag just in
Hmm.
time
Hmm.
tomorrow and to beat his butt and become world champion for the first time in front of live fans.
Yeah, and of course, that would be an incredible scene, isn't it? Because the first time you heard those words and the crowds weren't there, of course, but just talk to us a bit about that feeling, beating Brock Lesnar, winning that WWE title for the first time. What were your emotions at that time like?
A lot of emotions, because of the fact that I finally won the world title after 20 years and all the ups
Hmm.
and downs. I thought about all the people that sacrificed to get me to that point, but I also thought about what was going on in the world at the time and
Hmm.
how people were indoors and scared and unsure about the future, and we were the escape during that time, the only original content around with every other entertainment and
Hmm.
sporting company had shut down aside WWE, and a lot of emotions went through me. It's not how I imagined it when I was a kid. Obviously, I imagined tens of thousands of people there, but for the nature of the time, I'm very proud of being able to become champion and give everybody that escape and kind of lead the charge during that time until things get back to normal. But now I do want and need that moment with the title in front of fans. Clash at the
Hmm.
Castle last year would have been perfect.
Right.
Hometown, where it all began, home country, all together in Great Britain. And Bloodline, cheated me out of that, as I talked about on TV. But
Yeah.
now I've got the chance to make it right with Seth, the crown jewel.
Yeah. And Seth, of course, he's a tough opponent for you when you go up against these fighters. Psychologically, do you try and find an edge against each one of them? Of course, every opponent, they have their weak points or something. Do you try to look at that and say, hey, I can get one up on you even before we're entering the ring?
I think how I'm going to go about this, and as I mentioned earlier, I treat them all like
Hmm.
the most dangerous person in the world. But yeah, with Seth, he's got just as much experience as me. I've been around for 22 years, so it's going to be like a game of chess. But the problem for him is I'm much taller and much larger, so he's going to have to use his quickness
Hmm.
while we both try and play chess with our experience.
Hmm. And you mentioned about taller and, of course, the physique as well. Can you talk us through a bit of the training process that you go around daily?
I'm always in the gym doing something like at least 4 days a week,
Hmm.
lifting weights and then around that stretching and, keeping myself ready for absolutely anything and keeping myself able to do the physical, power, but also athletic style that I do for someone my size. You obviously see me nipping up and jumping over the top rope
Hmm.
sometimes, something that people my size don't generally do. But I want to
Right.
make sure that I'm ready to do absolutely anything. And if that means diving over the top rope on Seth with 280 pounds crashing down on him, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and it's fabulous when you think of it. You've got these harsh conditions of the matches, and then you've got the rigorous training as well that goes on, not just with the weights, with the WWE tour as well. But one of the benefits is you get to travel across the globe. You get to meet these fans. Do you have a favorite arena or a match that absolutely stood out for you and you felt the love from the fans as well. Do you have a favorite like that?
There's been so many.
Hmm.
I'll try to think of some recently. Uh, where I'm at right now, I guess, because I've been talking about it. In
Hmm.
Saudi Arabia, I've been blown away just how people have been reacting to me over these past few shows, and they're singing the songs from the UK. The oh, Drew
Yeah,
McIntyre. I've
yeah.
heard them sing that. Oh my goodness, I didn't expect that. So much love here, but it's great just how passionate the fans are here for WWE and Drew McIntyre,
Hmm.
in Hyderabad, where this was, and India. The fans
Yeah.
are just absolutely incredible and so loud. And
Hmm.
obviously, I was just back in the UK in Nottingham, England, and I kind of expect it in Glasgow, Scotland, but it's still always a pleasant surprise to hear the fans so loud. But yeah, Nottingham were unbelievable on Monday, and
Hmm.
that's just a few recently. Just everywhere we go, there's a different type of crowd, a different type of energy, but everybody's always so passionate.
I did see a picture of you wearing the cricket jersey of Team India, and it just made my heart so warm. One of my favorite wrestlers having that cricket jersey on. Talk us through a bit about that. India recently made the semi-finals of the World Cup. You mentioned the captain's name as well on your social media. Have you guys had a chance to maybe exchange some texts or?
No, but when India win the World Cup, I'll definitely be sending some positive messages and some
Yeah,
congratulations and some. I mean, I'm not shocked. like I've been keeping up with things. My buddies and I have a group
fantastic.
chat,
Hmm.
and as much I don't get to watch the full games, but I get to keep my eyes on things. And India have just been absolutely indestructible as like one of the great white ball sides ever. They've just been absolutely
Hmm.
smashing everybody, and yeah, they're going to win this. Like I'm absolutely positive about that. I do have a bold prediction. I reckon.
Right.
Like I want. So I scribbled this down to make sure I didn't forget. So my prediction for the final
Okay.
is Kohli ties Tender's record in the semi-final, then breaks the
Wow.
record and hits his 50th hundred in the final as India win. That's a Drew McIntyre
Fantastic.
prediction. Drew
That is
McIntyre bold prediction.
incredible. So you've been glued to the TVs or the mobile phones and you're following these matches, are you?
Sorry, yeah, and when I can't see, my buddies keep me updated what's going on because I
Fantastic.
travel so much, so it's not easy to keep up. But yeah, I've been keeping up just like Sharma, absolutely smashing it. I mean, everybody is, but like it's just been his World Cup, and
Yeah.
if he's not leading from the front, not scoring, it's Coley or Gill, and so India's my adopted side right now. But I would like to see Scotland do well, and it's like
That is
say a
fantastic.
couple of my friends are Indian in that group chat, so that's
Yeah,
why I follow and know so much about England, India specifically.
fantastic. That's great to know. And I mean, you also have the Scottish heritage of yours and being one of the few Scottish wrestlers in WWE. Talk us through the pride and the emotions that you have carrying that flag with you wherever you go.
It's awesome, especially these days. For the past few years, I've been able to wear the kilt, and I've got
Hmm.
the big sword. And I've always been announced from Air Scotland, which was important to me. Is initially they wanted
Right.
to announce me from Glasgow, Scotland, because they said nobody knows Air, and I was like, yeah, they will once you announce me from Air.
Hmm.
So the fact that I've been able to represent Scotland for so long as the first ever Scottish guy signed directly from Scotland to
Right.
WWE, and watch how far we've come. There was a couple of guys that are, Scottish origin that got signed to WWE, but never anybody from Scotland to
Scotland,
me.
yeah.
And fast forward a few years, and suddenly you've got, myself and Gallus down NXT, but then you've got so many girls as well, like
Hmm.
Nikki Cross and Isla Dawn and what's her partner wrestlers in WWE. I can't remember her WWE name, but Kaylee Ray, let's say, and
Hmm.
there's definitely more. There's just like an army of Scottish people in WWE now, but specifically women, which is wild.
Yeah. And that's incredible as well to the circuit. And we see how WWE has progressed over the years as well. And you've mentioned how long you've been in the industry. But if I had to wind the clock back a bit, what would the three things be that you'd like to bring back from the Attitude Era?
Like with the language and everything the way it is cool. Like I liked it as a kid when it was a bit more risque because I was
Hmm.
a teenager, but I also know we've got a lot of young fans now. So,
Right.
I probably wouldn't bring that back. And it becomes a bit of a crutch for people if you're allowed to swear. You just
Hmm.
overuse it. Everyone overuses it. So I wouldn't bring that back. But signs, people in the crowd with the signs, we still have it, but not as prevalent as it was in the Attitude Era. If you remember when Raw would
Yeah.
start, signs everywhere. As soon as the show opened, you would go through the crowd.
Yep.
Everybody would have something. So I'd
Hmm.
like to see that again when there's like tons of signs instead of just, you can pick them out these days because there's not as many.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You probably have to help me out because of the way things are right now. We're pretty good about, our industry. Just our style now is so advanced in ring when it comes to how athletic the style is. I'm very proud of that. We're selling out literally everywhere we go. So, wrestling's hot right now. We're obviously doing something right right now. And as much as we're, standing on the shoulders of the giants of the Attitude Era, we've taken things to the next level now from a business perspective. If you look at the company and how many deals they're making, and, the profit of the company, but also, just because of the in-ring style, because of the talent, selling out all the arenas all across the world where we go, including Saudi, where we're at right now.
You talked about seeing more and more fans in the stadium, and in terms of inspiring the next generation of, say, the fighters or the fans, would you like to see more of them show up in the kilts and maybe carry some swords around? Of course, albeit, the plastic versions of the swords, and just to create that vibe in the atmosphere. Would you like to see that more?
Oh yeah, I do see it. I'd like to see even more though. Like I see a lot of fans, dress up as myself, with the kilt and with, the blow up sword or plastic sword or sword they made themselves. And then, the ones that can grow the beard, or a lot of them, the kids that get sticky on beards, which is pretty cool. So I'm always, taken aback by somebody who decides to dress up as me, especially just Halloween there. People will tag me whenever somebody dresses up as me for Halloween, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and you've been very generous with your time, Drew. So I'm going to leave you with one final question from my side. This world heavyweight title, what does it mean to you if you go on to lift it this weekend, and what would it mean to your legacy?
That means everything to me, and it means everything to my legacy. I've been chasing that moment with the live fans. What happened during lockdown, the pandemic. I am very proud of that. And I saw what Seth had to say. Like, I don't know what was going on during that time. I know because I was talking to the fans over Zoom, and I know how difficult everybody had it. And it was my responsibility as the champion to lead the charge and make sure that they could forget about those difficult times whenever they turned out in WWE. I don't regret one moment of that. What I am upset about is what happened at Clash of the Castle when I finally got the opportunity to be champion and I was cheated. I just wanted a straight singles match, a fair match, and the opportunity to become champion with live fans. Seth claims I'm going to get that tomorrow. I've told him he's going to get that tomorrow, and we're going to find out who's the better man.
Fantastic. And we wish you all the best, Drew. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.